Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Elizabeth, curly-haired country gal. Now, if you're anything like me as a new beekeeper, a new natural beekeeper, or even a conventional beekeeper, you might see a whole bunch of bees around your hive and you're thinking, what's going on? So there are surely many factors, but I want to share with you the three main reasons why I have seen, and maybe you have seen, tons of bees flying around your hives. Let's do this thing. Now first, I don't have any footage of this unfortunately because I haven't actually seen it, but I did splits earlier this year, walkaway splits where I intentionally found the queen, I moved her to a different hive, and split the colony to multiply my apiary and for a brood break to keep my bees healthy. Now, it was about 2 or 3 weeks later when my kids ran inside and said, "Mom, the truck hive is going crazy with bees. I think they're swarming." Or, "Mom, the freedom hive is going crazy with bees. I think they might be swarming." And so I was thinking, wait a second, well, I did a split from that colony, so they don't have a queen, so they wouldn't be swarming. And then I remembered something that I had heard at some point, that when a virgin queen emerges and she's old enough to go on her mating flight, a lot of the bees will come out with her entourage, to send her off, I guess. And that's what my kids got to see. My son got to see one and my daughter got to see the other. So if you're doing splits, or if maybe you missed a split and your hive is requeening, you might see a lot of bees flying around your colony for that reason. Oh, here he is. This is my expert mouser. That's a good boy. Not much of a snuggle bug though. He just likes pets. In contrast, one reason that you might see tons of bees around your hive is because they are in fact swarming. So this you would probably see in the springtime, whenever the swarming season is in your area, when the bees have outgrown their space. Bees swarm because of overpopulation, and so it's their natural mechanism to multiply, but also make it so that the hive's not so crowded. But according to Dr. Leo, I found it really interesting that what will initiate a swarm is when the bees can no longer smell the queen. So pheromones and smells are super important. And whenever they come in, apparently the bees want to be able to smell the pheromone of their queen. And if they can no longer smell that, you know, she's too far away and there's too many bees in the way, that will initiate a swarm. And once it's initiated, there's no going back. They're going to swarm. And so if that happens, some people have been able to like catch the queen on her way out of the hive. I don't know how they do that, but you could maybe capture her and keep the swarm. Otherwise, you're just gonna have to possibly say goodbye to those bees. Sometimes people catch that swarm in another beehive on their property, which is great, but I don't know how likely that is. I know that last year I lost at least 2 swarms because I didn't get on top of things early enough. So that's part of the reason I was really on top of it this year. So you can check out my series where I talk about how I did my splits this year. Now the third reason that you might see a whole bunch of bees flying around your hive is the reason that you would least want to see bees flying all around the hive, and that's as if they're getting robbed out. So this happened to me last year. I had the vegetable hive in full sun, it's not insulated, and the biggest disadvantage that I found with the lay-ins frames is that they can get very heavy with honey. A frame that's full can be 10 pounds, and so with the wiring just going vertically, it can be prone to sliding down and collapsing. And that happened in the vegetable hive in July or August of last year, and it was a big sticky mess. And as soon as the other neighboring bees smell that, they're going to start robbing. Now, as you can see from this footage, one of the ways that you can tell if robbing is going on is if you see a lot more fighting, a lot more aggressive behavior. And the big giveaway is if you see the bees trying to get into the hive by a way other than the entrance. So that's a dead giveaway that it's not a bee that belongs to that colony, but rather one that's just trying to sneak its way in to grab some honey. So with this particular hive, it was a total loss. I got in there looking for, my kids came out and helped. We attempted to look for the queen, to no avail. She was surely one among many dead bees that had drowned in this incredible pool of honey at the bottom of the colony. So I went ahead and took the frames that were in it and I put it in a swarm trap just temporarily, not being quite sure of what to do, and took all the pieces of comb, and I ended up trying to do a honey harvest, I think, and then I rendered down the wax into beeswax. So it wasn't a total loss, but still a good learning experience. The big thing I took away from that, one, is to use insulated hives. So now I'm just totally hooked on the insulated hives. But also, one of Monty the Suburban Sodbuster's ideas from last year that I've started implementing is to create an X on my frames with the wire when I'm making and wiring frames, as opposed to going straight down, just to strengthen the comb. So I hope that helps. Which of those three have you seen in your apiary? Tell me in the comments. Thanks. Bye.